Hello and welcome back to the Red Leaf Retrocast Modern Gaming Podcast, episode 32. I'm your host, Jay Silver, and today I'm joined by my sidekick, JD.
Your sidekick?
Yes.
What is this nonsense, like saying it's not my podcast?
Well, you let me do the intro, you get to be my sidekick. Congratulations, you've been demoted.
Alright, I'll let it fly this one time. I'm glad I'm not running the ship for once.
Look, on the plus side, at least I didn't call you my seaman, like you did with friggin' Colin? No, wasn't Colin. It was
You'd think I would go as far to call Colin my seaman, my fellow seaman.
Dude, that game sounds ridiculous, and I kind of want to play it.
Well, I mean, you could definitely do other things while you play seaman.
Is it even a game? Like, it sounds like one of those friggin' aquarium things you go to your phone and just like occasionally feed them.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Tomodachi, sure.
Nice. How awesome. Well, that's not why we're here today, because if you want to hear that, you can go back and listen to episode 69 of the Retrocast. Nice.
That's a number. That's a thing. Hello, kitty cat. You ready to cause trouble? My God, he's rare form tonight. I just got done recording. Well, didn't just get done, but I recorded the part of the wrestling cast with my mom, and the cat was no less on the mic table at least 4 times.
I heard that your mum gave something a 5-star match. I'm guessing that was from DDT.
She did. Come on, cat.
I'm guessing that it's either Yoshihiko's match or Masato Tanaka's match.
Oh, I mean, you're just gonna have to listen to find out which one that is, then.
I'll just ask her on Thursday if it's not up by then.
So yes, we're doing modern gaming.
Connections. Indeed, modern gaming. So, dude.
Assuming we don't have any more technical difficulties, my God, this has been a trial. Cat! Yeah. Oh my God! Please stop!
We can't even use Discord today because apparently I sound like a robot. And that's a great
Discord's
feature.
Bad. As soon as we got into Skype and I was going to hit the record button, my computer took a freak out. This was like an episode of Baywatch where it must have seen the titties and just can't let mom see this. Got to change the channel without looking.
Actually, subject to be your mum, what did she watch this month for games?
Streets of Rage 4 and What the Golf.
Yeah, what the golf? Because, like, it's crazy.
It's a golf game.
It sure
is. For those
is.
that don't like golf.
Like me. Although there are some very good putt-putt games, because putt-putt is fun for in-game form for some reason. But anyway, we can get to that when we get to it. So, dude,
sure.
The PlayStation 5 was supposed to have an announcement, which didn't end up happening.
Right. It's been officially rescheduled for June 11th, which, upon recording this, is in a few days. So I believe this episode will be out before that.
Given the circumstances, like, it makes complete sense.
I guess.
In my personal opinion.
Sure. I don't see why not.
But that's not why we're here. That is not why we're here.
Yeah. Sony says it'll be an hour-long live stream.
Awesome.
That's pretty cool.
Anyway, we're here, dude, to talk some remakes, because, once again, another month of remakes, and I played 2 of them entirely from completion. One of them is better than the other, and we'll get to that soon.
You played the remakes.
I did play remakes. We're here to talk about sharks, we're here to talk about golf, and we're here to talk about some raging streets. And a weird Japanese dating simulator.
Whoa, hey. Nothing weird about it. You take that back.
Never. It's freaking weird. So, let us start, my dude, with Mafia 2 Remastered, because, oh boy, that has problems.
Does it? Do tell. I've only heard bad things.
So, I love Mafia 2. I absolutely adored that game when it first came out on the 360 and PS3. Like, fantastic game, brilliant story. You know, frame rate actually works. Do you think that, you know, one of the features of those things that I just mentioned is needed on the next generation of consoles to make the game run smoothly?
One would assume so, yes.
Well, it turns out that frame rate is optional.
Ah. So what is it, sputter down to 2 frames every now and again, or what?
Dude, I don't know what it drops down to, but Christ, it is not fun when you were driving around the city and, like, in combat, when all of a sudden, like, you die from some bullcrap when, for some reason, just the game decides to half crash. It is fantastic.
Oh, wow. That sounds like it's unacceptable.
Oh, it is. And yet I still managed to finish it. Because I hate myself. But look, Mafia 2's remake, when it's patched, I'm sure it's going to be fine. At the moment, it's just don't get it. Hold out time until hopefully the Mafia 1 remake is better, because apparently it's being built from the ground up.
But they didn't do that with the second one.
Correct. They just kind of did a HD kind of port thing, which is also...
They ported and remastered the sequel, but not the first one?
That would be correct, because they are doing a full-on blown remake, kind of like they did with RE2 and RE3 for Mafia 1, which is a good thing because Mafia 1 has that crappy bullcrap friggin' racing level where you need a friggin' driving wheel to actually complete it.
Oh.
Yeah, did you not know about that?
I did not. I've only ever played Mafia 3, and that was only kind of a demo, and I was like, eh.
I'm playing that at the moment. It's not very good. What was I going to say? So yeah, there's a moment in Mafia 1 where you have to do a car race, and the only controller that the people had there for some reason apparently was like a driving steering wheel adapter for the PlayStation 2 or the Xbox. So that's what they decided to base the mechanics off. And in case you can't tell, that with a controller doesn't kind of work the way it's supposed to.
So is it too tight or too loose?
I don't remember, to be completely honest with you.
Does it feel like it's on, you're driving on ice, or does it feel like you're just, I guess, sliding a brick across concrete?
Like I said, I don't remember.
Okay.
But fingers crossed that they're going to fix it with this button.
I guess whichever way it works, it would be bad either way.
Yeah, indeed. It's a great feature of a great game. Because Mafia 1 is a good game. It's just got some interesting features, if you would like to say that. So I'm really holding out hope that this remake is good. Unlike the Mafia 2 one, which I'm going to strongly recommend that nobody picks up until whoever the company was that remade it friggin' fixes it. Even though it comes with all the DLC and stuff, but it's not a full price game, it's not worth getting.
So, besides the frame rate drops, are there any other game issues?
No, not really. It still feels like a last-gen game, but, I mean, you're going to get that with a remake of a last-gen game.
I mean, we played the Yakuza series, and we only felt that with 3.
Yep. And we agreed that 3 should have been remade properly.
Yeah, but we didn't have the expectation, it's going to have these issues, it's going to look like last gen. No, I mean, 2 out of 3 of them look like the current generation.
They sure do.
That's why we got so critical on 3. So Mafia being a busted frame rate piece of ass, that's not an easy fix. That's a broken mess of a fix that takes possibly years, and by that time it's like, well, why bother?
Indeed. Look, I'm holding out hope that when they put out the Mafia 1 remake, that it's going to be fixed by them, because apparently they're putting out all 3 in one pack. But, I'm not holding my breath. Look, it's playable, I guess, to an extent. I managed to beat it.
I mean, that's like me saying I could play Angel of Darkness and beat it. It doesn't mean anyone should.
Well,
my crowning gaming achievement of 2020 is me beating Tomb Raider Angel of Darkness.
doing a deep dive for this podcast and friggin' actually clearing Mafia 2. It's definitely beatable. However, like I said, the frame rate is a very big problem.
Can't remember if there were frame rate issues in Angel of Darkness. It was just shoddy controls.
And also exploding demons.
Well, that's the first one.
Not Angel of Darkness? I could have sworn that... Never mind, my bad.
No, that was the first one.
Right, I understand. Yeah. So yeah, Mafia 2, it gets a solid C-.
I mean, if it has frame rate issues, that's unacceptable. So that would get a D at most in my book. But regardless, that's a port master, whatever you want to phrase it as.
Look, it's still got a great story.
I mean, if you can't play it, or it's not fun to play, then it doesn't matter much, does it?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So it gets a D.
Yeah. All right, so I didn't play that, but you play. Let's get the remasters out of the way. You are very fond of the Saints Row series. Am I correct in assuming this?
I freaking adore Saints Row. Did you play this one or not?
No. I have the game on Steam, so I'm familiar with the game mechanics and what it's about, and it's GTA dialed up to 1,000 with crazy aliens and whatever.
Crack.
Yeah. There's a lot of goofiness to it. It's comedy GTA.
Indeed.
So Saints Row the Third Remaster. You played this. You beat it, I assume, at this point.
I beat it in like 8 hours.
Cool. Oh, it's that short? Or did you just play the story and not fuck around too much?
I know what I'm doing, so like I didn't really decide to screw around all that much. Like I'm sure if it'll be an easy platinum to do if I decide to go back and platinum it. But for the time being, I haven't played through any of the DLC. I literally just did like a couple of side things and the main story.
Let's see what you know what, I didn't look this up. Mafia 2 Definitive Edition has a Mafia 2 come on, Mafia 2, what do you got? It's showing up as a 62.
That's probably about right.
Yeah, it's not good. That's a bad score.
Apparently it like runs better on the Xbox One.
Most things tend to do, just in terms of there's a spec that I always see in detailed reviews over how the game performs Xbox One versus PS4, but if you're not specifically looking for it, you won't notice it. That kind of situation. Yeah, it's something to do with how pixels and the graphics run. I forget the technobabble speak to it. It has something to do with the processing speed. It does not.
To do with the triangles.
Yeah, you know what? Let's do that. It has more triangles, or the triangles are smoother.
Fantastic.
Saints Row.
How many triangles does it take to make Triple H's nose?
I don't care. How about that?
Is one big triangle, or?
Yeah, sure. So, Saints Row the Third Remaster has a 76. So it's not blowing anything out of the water.
I didn't expect it to.
The original review got an 84.
Well, for the original Saints Row 3.
Yeah.
Times have changed, dude. Like,
it was 9 years ago this game was released.
And
crazy.
It still feels like a 9-year-old game, which, like I said before, that can be an issue. But at the same time, like with Saints Row, the goofiness and crap, in my opinion, just adds to the overall feel of the game. So
that was... It feels like a 9-year-old game is kind of how Crackdown 3 was reviewed. Like, it doesn't do anything new, but that's usually something, a criticism reserved for a game that's
new,
has a sequel that's like a decade later or something, right? So, but this is just a remaster of a game that's 9 years old. So that would,
you're absolutely right.
Unless you get super in depth over the like fighting mechanics, like what we see in the Yakuza series over time, then it would be a difference maker. But
look, they upgraded like the way the game looks. It plays pretty much the same. Like it's a solid little remaster. For anybody out there that wants to play Saints Row, like you can just jump straight into Saints Row 3. It's pretty much a soft reboot of the series.
I suppose if you don't have a gaming computer or you got rid of your PS3 or 360, then you could get the remaster.
Or you can just get the... True.
But wait, no, the one plays 360 games, doesn't it? Xbox Uno?
Not all of them, just certain ones.
I wonder if it plays the old Saints Row the Third.
I think it plays Saints Row 2. I know it plays Saints Row 2 because I've gone back and played that recently.
You can't always assume that it plays every game in the series.
That is true.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like as I said, Saints Row 3 is fun. It's Saints Row 3. If you want to play Saints Row, go play Saints Row 3.
Okay. Well, let's get into the new games. I want to talk about the new games.
Dude, before we get into that, you get to beat people with a giant purple dildo called the Penetrator. What more do you need in the game?
I need extra ribbed for her pleasure.
I'm sure you can get that in Saints Row 4 when they introduce the gun customization, but I don't think it's in 3. Because you can also get a glow-in-the-dark one in Saints Row 3. Saints Row 4, sorry, but yeah.
All right.
It's as ridiculous as it sounds.
So, Jay.
Yes.
Question.
Go ahead.
I played a certain game called Echo the Dolphin with Murder on Xbox Game Pass.
So we're literally getting into the last game that I have played for this cast. I understand.
Yeah, well, it's only appropriate that we talk about possibly the most ridiculous game of 2020.
So, Echo the Dolphin with Murder is fun, I think. It's bloody repetitive. Because I've played, 6-7 hours of it? I enjoy it, but, oh boy, it's grindy.
You've almost played it as much as Saints Row.
Yeah.
So I played this game for an hour. I just kind of dicked around the water, killed some people, saw some blood. It's Maneater. It gave me a good laugh. We'll admit that.
I like I like the approach of the game, how it's being filmed kind of like a nature documentary.
Oh yeah, you're right. It did do that.
And then every so often, the guy will just comments on what you're doing, and when you stop up, it's I guess we should follow another man-eater.
The hammerhead shark. How many different sharks do you get to play as? Does it just keep switching between them until you're a giant great white just murdering things on land?
No, you're literally just the same shark, and you just level up, and as you level up, you unlock things, and then you eventually just get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. I'm an adult shark.
Ooh.
I have electric fangs, or teeth, or whatever they're called.
Electric teeth?
Yes, I bite things and then sparks fly out of my things and electrocute them.
Oh, that's cool. What is Echo the Dolphin but murder?
Kind of, yeah, because you've ever got the sonar Echo the Dolphin, which displays everything.
Yeah. So you don't get to be other sharks in the game? That's kind of lame.
Nah.
I figured that's where really, I figured that's where the game was heading. You'd have your main shark, and then other sharks would show up and you get to be them, but you don't get to do that. Oh, that's disappointing. No wonder it feels repetitive.
Not where I'm up to, but you can customize your Sharky in the way that you want to customize it. You unlock different skins, you unlock different perks and stuff for the different elements of the shark. As I said, I have electric teeth, which is kind of cool.
That's cool. I just figured it's you could become a hammerhead, and then your specialty is literally being using your head as a hammer, destroying boats or something.
That'd be pretty cool. At the moment, I'm a shark with a tiger shark skin.
Yeah, makes sense.
And that adds.
Oh, I think I see what's going on with the game now. Okay.
Yeah, you just get mutations and that sort of thing, and then you just kind of get to build your shark the way that you get to do. But it's freaking repetitive.
Yeah, I was kind of done with it after the hour. Like I said, I was okay. I had my yucks. That was about it.
It's a good game. It's a great idea and concept. I'm sure it's going to be something I go back to sporadically, just for killing time when I'm waiting for things to come out. But it's good for a laugh. It's fun, but oh boy, is it repetitive.
Yeah. No argument from me. I just don't think it's gonna blow anyone out of the water. I give it a C.
I would also give it a C.
Yeah. See what I did there?
By the way, I would give Saints Row I'll give Saints Row 3 a B.
A B. Oh, okay. So the next game is What the Golf?
Oh boy, do you like golf?
Actually, what does Maneater have on the Metacritic? I think it only got 70 or something. 71. That's what it has.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, it feels about right.
Yeah.
So, What the Golf? This, I believe, got the best review scores of the month.
It has a 85 on Metacritic and a 9 out of 10 from GameSpot.
Yeah, 85 for the Switch version. That's kind of what we're reviewing here. Yeah, what'd you think, Jay?
I thought this was freaking ridiculous.
It wasn't what I was expecting by any means. I was not expecting a game where it's other aspects of life and objects around you take the role of the ball in golf, and you got to shoot it into a hole. I thought that was occasionally your golf ball, but yeah, it was just it was. I kind of got the same. I like this game more than Maneater. Maneater was just kind of the spectacular yuck of it all. What the golf definitely gave me a good laugh. I found myself enjoying. I found myself engaged a little bit more. But at the end of the day, it was another, hey, I played this for 2 hours, and then I was done with it.
So here's the thing, and this is one thing I don't understand about What the Golf, and it's one of those things that's a great idea and concept, but how come somehow if like a house hits the flag, it counts as getting like the ball in the hole?
Yeah, there's a lot of things about this game that I thought they missed on. So, like you said, the house takes the role of the ball, and you shoot the house at the hole, but the hole isn't. It's still a golf hole. It doesn't get bigger or anything for you to actually have a concept of how to win or that satisfaction of winning the level. And there's no stroke limits.
Correct. As long as you just like kind of touch the flag, it just sort of counts. Like it'd make the game more interesting if like you had, say for example, it's like a par 4 and you have only 6 shots to get in the hole.
Right. Yeah, those are the aspects I thought were missing from the game to really keep me engaged and feel like I'm accomplishing a little bit more than just, hey, that was funny, next level. Hey, that was also funny, next level.
Yeah, it's got the same kind of problem as Maneater, like we just said. It's a great idea and concept. It just gets a little bit repetitive.
Yeah, I'm wondering what I guess the gameplay itself, because this is so much more simplistic, that you feel more engaged than Maneater's ridiculousness that kind of goes over the top.
Yeah.
Why it garnered better reviews. That's my theory behind it. I definitely felt more engaged with What the Golf, but it was still missing aspects to keep me coming back and playing more.
You know, I can completely understand that, but I don't think it's a me game, if that makes any sense.
That's fair. Streets of Rage 4, Jay.
I have never played a Streets of Rage game. Or I don't think I have. So, boy, you get to educate me on Streets of Rage.
So, it's an old beat-em-up series from the Sega Genesis days. There's 3 of them. Most people have a child. I mean, most people that grew up in the era of it would either find Streets of Rage 2 in the arcade and play it that way, or they'd have a Sega Genesis and play it that way. Later, people may have gotten the Sega Genesis collection, and it's on those releases. They were the competition to the, I want to say, Final Fight series to Nintendo, right? Right? Fatal Fury for SNK. I hope I have these right. I easily have them mixed up. Long day at work, a lot of podcasting. So you are cops. There's evil afoot in the city. Usually someone's kidnapped, and you got to go save them. The cool thing, I think, what sets apart Streets of Rage from other beat-em-ups of its merit is its replayability value and its boss fights. I usually feel that once you get to a certain level in beat-em-ups, let's say level 3-4, that's kind of a retro trope, is that's where you got to pump quarters in, the game gets it crazy. And while that stays more or less true, the Streets of Rage series never really felt that way. It's always based on what difficulty you wanted to play it on. And Streets of Rage 4, being that whenever Streets of Rage 3 last came out, I want to put a 1995 marker on that game. That's just a guess. But 4 really invokes the spirit of those old beat-em-up games. And it's really come across well to the public, especially in the retro community, that this is everything that you wanted a sequel of Streets of Rage to be, and then some.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So did you get to watch videos on it, play it enough? It was on Game Pass. That's how I was originally playing it myself. Okay.
Sorry, had my microphone muted.
You fool. Making me sound awkward and in silence and sitting here.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I will never forgive you.
I will come for your third-born child, since the first two are already taken.
What are you going to do with these things?
This is none of your concern anymore.
I've given up the right to know, have I? It's fine. I'll just take one of yours. It's all good. We'll get there sooner or later. Yeah. I didn't get the opportunity to touch this at all, unfortunately.
Oh, bummer. You should probably do that.
Yeah, look, I will. It's just I decided to spend more of my time on other games for the month.
That's fair. That's fair. So it's popping a massive 86 for the Switch version on Metacritic and mid 80s for the other versions that have come out. Jay, I love this game so much. I immediately took advantage of the limited run release and get myself a physical copy for the Switch.
How much did that set you back?
$30.
See, not a full price game.
It's not a full price game. It's a retro style game made in 2020.
Nice.
Yeah,
I should mention too that Maneater is not a full price game either.
It is not.
If it was, I'd have more problems with it.
Yeah. No, I mean, you get what you pay for, but in Streets of Rage 4's case, I think you get what you pay for and more. Because remember, games like this back in the day were $60 upon release, $50 for, I believe, a lot of Genesis games out there. They were more fluctuating in what companies would come out. Sometimes games would come out 40, some would be 70, but usually they rolled in around the 50, 60 price range, which is still the case to this day. But Streets of Rage 4, my God, it's very much worth the value and then some, especially with all of the Easter eggs in the game, the retro levels you can get by finding the arcades in various stages. The difficulty settings are actually worth something. So, Jay.
So when you say, sorry, just to butt in for a sec, when you say the retro levels, like, does it just take you back in time to, like, straight to Wedge 1 through 3?
More or less, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, old pixel art type things.
Does it play through like those games then, or does it still play with the 4 gameplay?
It plays like it would Streets of Rage 4 with the updated control scheme and response time. They don't purposely dumb things.
I was going to say, would you prefer it to like go back in time, or would you do you like the approach they did?
No, I like the approach they did.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you got to keep the updated aspects of it. So I mentioned difficulty, and Jay, I just finished Bloodstained. I've been saving these thoughts for this podcast specifically, since it is modern gaming, and the game came out last year. And you know me, I've been on a video game tear in 2020. I'm actually completing games.
That's crazy. You might soon be on my level.
Ooh. Well, I mean, I'm keeping track of every game I have completed in this year so far.
Yeah, if I was to do... Actually, that doesn't sound like a half bad idea. I wonder I wonder how many more I've done than you.
Yeah. Well, so I beat Bloodstained, and the 3 out of the last 4 bosses were incredibly difficult. They kicked the shit out of me. And for those that don't know, Bloodstained is this Kickstarter game that's from the Castlevania creator, and it's exactly like Castlevania in a lot of ways. But the point being is, I got so frustrated on playing on just medium difficulty with some of these boss battles, especially at the end game, because I wasn't really taking full advantage of the game's crafting system, right? I was just kind of going through the game, just leveling up as one would. If I find a better sword or I get a different style, I just switch to that. I wasn't too concerned with crafting or shard, no grinding, basically. And it got to the point where I beat the game, but I got the bad ending, okay?
How many endings are there? Like 4? 3?
No. So there's a bad ending and a good ending. That's it. So just the 2. The bad ending is you just get to the final area, beat the boss, and then they go, well, I wonder what would have really happened. The mansion is still there kind of situation. So it leaves a lot of things open-ended, right? If you want the good ending, the game doesn't direct you where you need to go in any form or fashion. And this was kind of a problem I had with one section in the game, and I was like, okay, if it only does that one time, I don't have an issue with it. But the entire end game is like that, where you don't know what items you need in order to beat it. You don't know where to go. There's no direction to it all. Then, in my case, I never felt the need to grind for shard levels, get specific shards, get specific weapons, craft stronger weapons where I'd feel overpowered. Well, in order to really compete with that end game, you have to grind. So for 90 minutes, I was just grinding for shit to make my character stronger. So it was, but the point I was making was when I got to that point, I was like, I'm going to open up a new save file and see what like easy mode is like, because in Bloodstained, you can't just freely change the difficulty setting. You'd have to start over a new game. So just for the kick of it all, I just started I started a separate save file on easy mode, and the game is more or less the exact same difficulty. Right?
Right.
There's no conceivable change I could see. Now in Streets of Rage, and this is where I was going with this, in Streets of Rage 4, on easy mode, the enemies attack less often, they hit less hard. It is, by definition, easy mode, right? Where it gets really fun is when you start pumping it up to higher difficulties. The enemies have different attack patterns. Some have new attacks. There are more enemies in certain areas where they just swarm the screen like a police force, just swarms you. It's awesome. There's a lot of replayability value just in those aspects alone. It really encourages you to want to get better at the game and to see what other aspects of the game has to offer. I didn't get that with Bloodstained. On Bloodstained, I could really feel I could play at any difficulty level and I'd get that same experience, because the enemies are just going to do the same thing over and over again. Maybe there's enemies later in the game that do different things, but my initial impression was I didn't see anything different. So yeah, definitely didn't like the end game of Bloodstained from the grind perspective and not knowing where to go. But as soon as I got a guide, then I was all great. I was like, okay, so I just need this item, this item, this item, and I'll craft that. Then I want this weapon, so I'll go get those items. Okay, I'm literally searching up where all these things are, and they're all part of the maps I've already been, but there's so many different enemies that the game, it's almost like you want the game to have an almanac or a glossary of what item will drop for each enemy.
So
right?
What's the point in having a difficulty setting if it doesn't really change anything?
That is the question a lot of people have asked in modern gaming. Because easy mode...
Go ahead. I was going to say, because there are, I'm not going to say a lot of games, but there are games out there that don't even bother giving you the difficulty setting. It's just here, play the game.
Yeah, Sekiro's one of those. The Dark Souls series is one of those. You just have to...
Most Grand Theft Autos are one of those.
Yeah, you just have to be at this certain skill level. Which
also, problem, very quickly here.
Okay.
How the hell have you not played San Andreas?
It's just never happened.
You need to rectify that right now, because it is probably the best Grand Theft Auto for a single player experience. It is so good.
I don't know.
You need to do it.
I guess maybe someday we'll play it on the Retrocast.
Well, do another soundtrack episode and throw San Andreas in that.
Or just sandbox games. That's a theme you could possibly do. So, with difficulty settings, we could do a whole podcast on difficulty levels on and just settings in general. If a game doesn't have a difficulty setting, let's take an RPG, for example, just a straight edge RPG. You can grind to make your character stronger, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that way you're compensating for the skill level you're at with the ability of the character itself getting stronger to overcome whatever enemy is giving you trouble, right? So in Dark Souls, if you just grind your character up, level upon level, you're eventually going to get to the point where your character's strong enough to compensate for your skill level. Cut back to Sekiro, which I always like to reference in this. You can't do that in Sekiro. So if you just aren't good enough at the game, you're done. Right?
Mm-hmm.
In Streets of Rage 4, if you want to play on a hard difficulty level and you just come to a section where, fuck, there's just too many enemies, I'm not good enough, I'm not getting better, if I'm gonna get past this part, I gotta drop the difficulty setting down.
Mm-hmm.
Easily, you could have players just cop out and go, I'm just gonna drop it and keep it there the whole time. But at the end of the day, that's freedom of choice, right? It's freedom to the player to decide if they want to cop out or not, right?
So in regards to like hard games and that sort of thing, does Dead Cells have a difficulty setting, or is it just kind of one of those things where you got to figure it out as you go?
Dead Cells is a figure it out as you go, but you grind your character.
Because that's a roguelike, isn't it? Well, if you die, like, you carry over some of the previous things.
Well, you got to get to certain points, but yes, more or less, you're grinding your character up, and eventually your character will get strong enough for your skill level to keep getting further. That's the whole point of roguelike, basically. You are rewarded for getting a little bit further, and you keep certain items, and that will make your character inherently stronger.
Nice.
Yeah. Now, imagine you're playing, I don't know, Rogue Legacy, or in this case, Dead Cells, and you get to, I don't know, the second boss fight, and there's been no way to upgrade your character. You're essentially just stuck there, and you'll never get further.
Not Dead Cells, but yeah.
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 So, like, that would have happened for me in Bloodstained if I wasn't grinding the character, right? And some of the shards, and there's some gameplay aspects that, you know, I wish were in it, like a dodge mechanic, but it's all about that old school Castlevania feel where you just got to take the hit situation. So I wasn't too upset about that. But the back to Streets of Rage 4, it's a fantastic retro-style game made in 2020. The art style is outstanding. There's shit to unlock in the game, Jay. There's no microtransactions. What world do we live in? I don't have to pay for extra characters? What is this?
I don't know. Like, I mean, isn't that a feature of all games now, that I need to pay to get things?
Yeah, pay to win, right?
Indeed.
Pay to play.
I don't know what this whole concept of not paying extra money after launch is.
I know, right? It's almost like they want to come out with a complete game and then reward you for being good enough or being great at it, you know, whatever it might be. So
how dare they do such a thing? I would rather just pay to get good.
Yeah. Streets of Rage 4 is a phenomenal success. I can't recommend it enough. Spoiler for me, I gave it an A rating.
Well, I will trust your opinion, seeing as I didn't really get time to look into it, and give it A tier as well.
All right. Okay, so our last and final game, Jay, since we don't have the PlayStation reveal conference to talk about, that I guess we'll cover on the Retro Gaming Cast. Go figure.
And for anybody that's asking why we're not doing Minecraft Dungeons this month, it is next month. Yeah,
we need games for next month. So.
Yeah.
And then Ninjala was delayed to June. It was delayed a month. So
big month next month, dude. Last of Us, can't wait.
Yeah. So our last game we're talking about, and then it'll go to my mom and I, given her little review, and that'll finish out the cast. We're talking Sakura Wars. Oh yeah. This happened.
I don't know what this game is, and I don't think I want to find out what this game is.
So, how familiar are you with Sakura Wars, the franchise?
This is my introduction, and I have watched some gameplay stuff. I have watched a couple of trailers. I don't know what to make of this series.
So, it's a one-of-a-kind kind of cross-genre of a game. So
it's something, all right.
For those that don't know, it's like this 1940s steampunk era. It's developed by Sega, first of all. And Sega's idea was they wanted to kind of reboot some old franchises, or soft reboot, you might say. Like the Yakuza series is a soft reboot with their various remasters and bringing games that were very popular in Japan over to the West and worldwide. And the Yakuza series was so popular within the West that they figured, hey, let's try Sakura Wars, because that was extremely popular in Japan and Asia, but there was never an English translated Western release ever. except a random Wii game that came out years and years ago. But that was like the 5th in the franchise or some nonsense, right?
That's a really weird place to start, but okay.
Yeah, exactly. That's why no one really bought it. No one knew about it. So I've been extremely curious about the Sakura Wars franchise because I like kind of turn-based strategy games. Okay. And I like anime. So the original Sakura Wars series, yes, anime podcast. So the Sakura Wars franchise is an anime-based, turn-based strategy game with, how do I put this? A dating sim mixed in.
Yeah, and we're not talking like a Fire Emblem dating sim. We're talking something completely different.
No, an actual dating sim. So they call it the lips. They call it the lips dialogue system. It's live interface personal something or another. Okay.
Live interface personal system. Lips.
Let's see. I got it. Hold on. It is. Live and interactive picture system is what
live and interactive picture system.
Yes. So what that is you as you're going through the story, character will all of a sudden have a dialogue tree pop up, and you have a certain amount of time to choose X option, right? And even certain situations you could choose to not say anything, right? Choose no option. So the whole purpose is to try to pick the best option for the character and how they act, right? Their traits.
Right.
You know, it's not the most complicated thing in the world. I mean, you could be a total doof, like I did for the main character in the game, where he's a complete pervert. It's like, this is the women's bathroom. How did I end up here? And then it's the option, sneak out, make sure no one notices you, hide and wait for the coast to be clear, or, well, I guess since I'm in the bathroom, I might as well strip down and head in. I'm choosing the third option.
Is this just your fantasy?
I mean, it is waifu heavy.
Don't you just okay, when you get to build your own character around traits and that sort of thing, do you tend to make yourself insane, or do you tend to play as if you were the character?
Well, I feel like a lot of people play it the way you're supposed to, but I like just playing the game so ridiculous and out in left field, just like I did with what was that game I made? Disco Elysium.
Yeah, I was going to say the detective game.
I always like making the character just super crazy, and sometimes those options end up paying dividends later.
And sometimes they don't.
Well, in Sakura Wars' case, you could do that, but you definitely want to have one character that likes you, because the way you act with these waifu characters is how much it's I guess I would call it a trust system, because when you get to the actual combat, depending on how much trust you have with a character depends on how strong they are, how there's a morale system in fighting, which is kind of neat.
Kind of like the Fire Emblem thing, where the better relationship you have with the person, the better combat's going to be.
Yes, exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And this is also, and the battles of this is a giant mechs fighting each other.
Seems legit.
Yeah. So the original is a turn-based strategy game with mechs, and I love the Front Mission series franchise, and that's what this is, except with more character interaction, dating sim type stuff. So you could definitely tell why it was so popular in the 90s. Because there was just no other game like this, and if you're a big anime fan, this is your fantasy, right? Giant mechs and waifus? Oh, sign me up, right?
Right. So wait, what did this originally launch on? Was it a PS2 game, a Sega game?
Saturn?
Right.
We all know how popular the Saturn was in the West.
We do. Do you have one?
I do have one.
Yeah, see? Popular.
Yeah. Wonder if I can get my hands on the on a bootleg translated version of the original. I've been contemplating it for a while. But anyways, why bother? Because the new Sakura Wars came out. The big difference here is with the soft reboot is it's no longer a turn-based strategy game, Jay.
It's real time.
It is it functions like a beat 'em up now.
So it's like Yakuza.
Your giant, yeah. I was trying to think of what this combat truly reminds me of, and it's Sega, so it really reminds me of the Yakuza fighting mechanics. But now you're a mech, right? In a lot of ways, amazing. Yeah. In a lot of ways, you could say it's like the Dynasty Warriors series as well, because in Yakuza on the streets, you're fighting 5, 6, 7, maybe even 20 guys in the street. And you're just kind of mashing the attack buttons and trying to various combos, and then you get super attacks. Same thing here with the giant mechs.
You've just given me an idea. Like, I want now a Yakuza Dynasty Warriors game, like Yakuza Warriors.
Well, we're getting Yakuza RPG later this year.
We sure are, but could you just imagine a Yakuza-esque Dynasty Warriors where you can play as all the different bosses and stuff and just kicking the crap out of just pointless minions? That'd be amazing.
So what this game does really well is I do like the combat system. It's different. It's an upgrade. It makes it now unique to all the other Sakura Wars games of its past, no doubt. Is the love that's been put into these games, because you could tell in the remasters a lot of love except 3 was made in the Yakuza series, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of detail, upgrading things, keeping a lot of things relevant from the past entries. In Sakura Wars, because this is a soft reboot, what they've done is actually gotten a lot of different anime artists to create different character models, and yet try to keep a lot of homage to the old 90s characters. Character designs. So one character is I think her name's Hitsuo, something like that. Her character was created by the Bleach creator.
Tede Kubo.
Yeah, exactly.
He has a very distinct style.
Yeah, so he actually had a big part in creating a lot of the art in this Sakura Wars games. So it's really cool.
Interesting. There's one thing that dude can do, and that is good-looking art. A story, on the other hand.
Well, the story, on the other hand, is very kind of by the numbers. Waifu battle of trust and love and friendship will overcome demons or whatever the fuck, right? It's
close enough.
The story's not going to blow your socks off, but it's the enticement of just playing this just weird weeb game, right?
Right.
Another thing that they expanded upon was kind of the world interaction. So the game looks amazing, right?
Right.
So you can now use a right analog stick to change camera views. You can interact with various things in the world. You can collect items that make reference to various characters and other things in the franchise, and then it kind of tells you about them a little bit. And my favorite aspect of the game that they've done are cutscenes are actually in that mid to late 90s art style. It's like watching an anime from that time. So as an anime fan, I absolutely love it.
Nice.
Yeah, full on animation scenes like when it first kicks in and you see the character Sakura going down the tube and then her clothes disintegrate, and then sci-fi shit happens and now she has her battle clothes on. It's like full Sailor Moon but with mech type situation, right?
So you get the whole magical girl transformation, which sounds amazing.
Right, yeah, you get that.
Could you imagine if they implemented a minigame into that where you've got a time thing right to get a bonus or something?
That'd be funny. You could purposely mess up and they come out with no clothes on. Haha.
No. You just come in with damage to your battle armor or something. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, it's possible. So the objective in the game is you're part of this they call it the Flower Squad or some shit, and they're not doing so hot, right?
Right.
Because there's demons and you have these mech divisions that have to fight the demons, but this mech division, they're not doing so good. They're basically broke, and your main character's he's a famous captain or whatever, or young and successful. He's been sent there to kind of become a captain of the Flower Squadron, and they also run a theater kind of on the side for their source of income, but the joke is they suck at putting on a show. Like they're very clumsy, something always goes wrong, so basically they're put in a corner where now they have to win the review games. They call it the combat review or review world games, whatever you want to pronounce it as.
Right.
And think of it as kind of just a tournament, right? You play... I never even got to a review game part. I played for 3.5 hours, and I like just got somewhat into chapter 2, where you meet this like super hot another waifu girl, and then you're introduced to a mechanic, so of course he recognizes your main character, so everyone's all buddy, and it's all about interacting with your characters. It's a dating sim with actual gameplay in it, basically, at some points.
Nice.
Yeah. It's not going to be a game that's going to make my game of the year list, probably, but it's definitely harmless. There's a lot of love.
Something you're going to remember as well.
Oh, I'm definitely going to remember it for this year. And I don't think I'm going to pay full price for this game at all. Like, I was just curious, and I found Amazon copies already on sale for like $25 off the full retail price. So I'm like, if I can wait like to the end of the year, I bet it'll be $20, maybe 25, 30. When I put it that way, okay, then it's probably worth it. I think it only has like a 72 or something on Metacritic, because it's not blowing anyone away. I would say gameplay wise, it's not, the most deepest system in the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of love into the whole paying homage to the series past. It's a good little soft reboot. There's nothing, like, there's no frame rate drops. There's a lot of animation in it. The character models are spot on. I would say it's better than Fire Emblem in that way. The new one, the 3 houses that came out last year. I would say the Sakura Wars character models and the way the characters move and facial expressions, it's actually much better. So in a lot of ways, graphically, it's better than Fire Emblem, right? Just Fire Emblem has, well, the game part of it. That's way better.
Well, I guess it really depends on what you're after in a game.
Yeah. But if you're not into dating sims or whatever, then obviously you wouldn't be into this at all. You would just be like, when am I ever going to play something? That's not really what this is about.
Yeah.
So I think I would give it a nice little... You know what? I'm going to be very nice with this one. I'm going to give it a B.
Fair enough. From everything I've seen of it, and your very passionate talk in a dating simulator.
Look, man, there's also mech battles in it, so come on, that's a full point upgrade right there.
I don't think I can give it high. Wait, you gave it a B, didn't you?
Yeah.
I think I can give it higher than a C, dude. Like,
well, that rounds up to a B in my book.
Nice. But I don't know, like, it seems really freaking weird.
It is weird.
Like, I don't know, it just doesn't seem like something, once again, for me.
Well, it doesn't have to be, right? Not
That
every
is
game
true.
is supposed to be. But I would say, mechanically, what this game was trying to do, I think it succeeded in every conceivable way.
Do you think this is going to be a launching point for new fans to join the franchise, or do you think this is going to be a one and done for Sakura Wars?
I think if you're an anime fan and you like visual novels, right, this game would be right up your alley. Okay? I'm not a visual novel kind of guy, but I have played some, and I have had fun with some every now and again. The fact this has the mech battles in them, and I'm a mech mark, we could put it that way. You put the mech battles in there, I'm interested, right?
Yep.
And I had fun with the mech battles. There's a clear direction. If the story was deeper and it wasn't so anime trope heavy, that's what would make this game better. But that's not what this is. Like, look, it's a reboot. It's a reboot of a franchise from the 90s. We know what the 90s were. Not everything's going to be Ghost in the Shell levels deep.
That's 100% fair.
Yeah, so I feel like I've been overly nice with it. I could easily come on the podcast and say this game is stupid. It's a dating sim. There's hardly any game to it. It took me 2 hours to get to anything remotely interesting because it was just nonstop reading, and I felt like I was just watching a very by the numbers anime for a long.
Where have we heard that before?
Yeah, right. Well,
except the gameplay and that other game's actually gameplay.
Right. Yeah. But like with Seaman, I could do other things while things play out.
Yeah, that's a statement.
Yeah,
which I'm totally going to take out of context.
Yeah, go for it. So
I plan on it.
June is here. We have our list. Our 4 tentative games for sure, and we might add 1 or 2 later. We got Last of Us Part 2.
Big game for the month is Last of Us Part 2.
Ninjala, which I, again, very excited for. Jay, we're gonna play it together.
We sure are.
We're gonna do it. Okay? It's a free game, and you don't need Switch Online to play it online.
How good.
Yeah. Although you needed Switch Online for Tetris 99. Even though that was free. Shantae and the Seven Sirens. Very excited for that, actually. And Minecraft Dungeons, which I am going to play. I swear.
How much is that? Is it free on Game Pass? Or
it is free on Game Pass.
I'm probably not going to get on Game Pass. Hey, a little bit of an interesting fact here, just for a little bit of random trivia before we get out of here. Have you heard of a show called Girls und Panzer? It's an anime.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Did you know that they in the DVD release of that, they put the Tetris music in a scene because they couldn't get the rights to the Russian song?
That's kind of funny.
It is amazing.
Oh, boy.
It is amazing. But, guys, thank you for listening. JD will be back in a moment to talk with his mum about some video games.
Yes, very important to talk with my mum about video games.
Indeed it is. So next month, like as I said before, I'm very excited for Last of Us 2. Even though a lot of people seem to be crapping on it, but I don't think it's going to be a terrible game. I still think it's going to be very good.
Oh, absolutely. I'm super excited for it. That's the game my mom will be checking out herself this month here. So
yeah, I've actually been contemplating if I can finish Mafia 3 in time, which should be at some stage this week, hopefully, fingers crossed. Going back and replaying The Last of Us 1.
Alrighty.
Just so I can be ready for my feels and sadness.
All right. Well, moving on to my mom. Thanks, Jay, for another amazing episode.
Cool. Peace out, guys.
And you know what that music means? It is time for Mom to talk about video games. May has come and gone, Mother.
What? Say what?
May has come and gone.
May has come and gone, hasn't it?
Yeah, last we left off was the April stuff in which you talked Final Fantasy VII Remake. This month, I really thought about giving you the game Maneater, which is a game about sharks murdering people.
Ooh.
Yeah, where you are the shark that's doing the murdering.
Seems to be an event in Australia.
Well, yeah. But that game got on the list a little too late. We're talking What the Golf and Streets of Rage 4 with you.
What the Golf? That was funny.
You liked What the Golf, did you? Let's start with that one then.
Okay.
Developed by Triband, also published. Came out May 21st, 2020.
Okay.
Yep.
So, fairly recent.
Yeah.
It's not a remake.
It is not. No, April was remake month. These are new games.
Ah, okay.
Unintentional remake month.
Okay.
Last one.
I liked What the Golf. I ended up watching it for quite a while. I thought it was lots of fun, though as it continues on, it can be a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
But in the beginning, I felt I could play it. Anyone can play. It was a great family game. I like the idea of the different objects used as a club.
Yeah. Different objects are also the balls.
Right.
Or play the role of the ball.
Right.
Better put.
Yeah. So I get the whole title, What the Golf? Like using a house for a club. And so this time I watched without any sound per se other than the game itself. So I wasn't listening to anybody. I wasn't watching, of course I'm watching somebody play, but it's the game sound, only the game sound. So I did that on for both the games that I watched, as a matter of fact. So that was kind of different for me to watch it without any commentary. So I could actually watch the game.
Did you find you got more engrossed with the game, or did you find it a bit boring?
No, I enjoyed watching it. Just me watching someone play without commentary and hearing the action of the game itself instead of constant commentary going on. So I actually watched the games longer without the commentary.
Is that something you think you'll be doing in the future?
I think so.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So then my suggestion will be for future YouTube searches, be sure to put in no commentary. Kind of in,
gotcha.
Yeah. So the game and then no commentary, and more of those will come up.
So I made it to the galaxy on What the Golf, because I mean, how long is this game? It's pretty long, but that would be a challenge. That section, the galaxy, would be a challenge.
The game's about 5 hours.
Yeah.
In total.
Well, it would take me 5 months probably. I might get better, You always get better with practice, I suppose. So,
sure.
But the Galaxy, I thought would be a challenge. Do you have that game? With the golf?
So I ended up logging into one of my friend's accounts and using his. So I don't own it personally.
No. Oh, well, did you like it?
Yeah, I thought it was enjoyable for a short amount of time. It's not something I'd see myself playing more than once. I had a good laugh, played it for a couple hours, and then I was kind of done with it.
I like the little guy that shows up and he's used as a ball.
Yeah. I liked I liked how,
because I was wondering what the heck is going on when I first watched it. When I was first watching it, I was trying to understand the concept of it all, and I'm like, at the very first part of it, the guy is falling and flip flopping, and I'm like, what the heck is this going on? And then as I'm watching, okay, now I get what's going on with this whole thing.
Right.
Yeah.
I liked the whole idea of a level map where you can go from stage to stage of different areas, and it was just like this one world map, and it was almost like a golf course in itself, where you'd go from hole to hole, and then that would go into its own little. And then there's an adventure
in the whole. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was a neat way to go about it, because they could have easily just done 1-1 or 1-2, and they went a little bit above and beyond in that aspect. I never felt like the game was cheap at all. I wish there was a way. I wish there was a score to it. You know? That way, there's at least some sort of semblance of challenge.
Yeah.
Because I never felt like anything was on the line in the game at all. It was just, okay, I just got to get to the hole. I mean, it's a simple little adventure, sure. Nothing wrong with that. Just wish there was an added extra challenge. That's all I think.
Well, the guy whoever was playing, I didn't write his information down.
Oh, mother.
I know. I'm so a goofy. What was I going to say? Oh, so he goes through the challenge and he's like trying to get to the next level and he has to find what he missed and he has to go back. It was kind of entertaining to watch him, go, oh shit. You're thinking, oh shit, he missed one. How did he miss one?
Right.
And now you're following him going back to where he missed. And that's why I liked nothing was being said. It's just, you have to figure out what happened. You're watching him figure it out. It was pretty fun. Yeah. I wish I would have written the guy's name down. I did not do that.
You can go to your YouTube history.
Yeah, I did it for Rage 4, but I didn't do it for, well, maybe I did. Did I do it for Rage 4? I don't know. I guess not. I didn't do it for Rage 4 either.
Well, what rank or tier would you give What to Golf? S, A, B, C, D, F? S being the best?
Oh. I'd probably give it a B plus.
Alrighty.
I think it's a good family game.
Fair enough.
I could see it as a family game.
Fair enough. Okay. Well, the next game is a game I really enjoyed. Probably the game I played the most from the month of May, which is Streets of Rage 4. Developed by .emu, published by them. It is the fourth installment of the Streets of Rage series. Takes place 10 years after the events of Streets of Rage 3, which is an old Sega Genesis series of games. Mom?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so this is a brand new installment. Takes place way, way later. And I've played a couple of these kind of style remakes or sequels by .emu. Main one is the Wonder Boy games. And I really like what they bring and do to these games. They really have a good idea of how to make a retro game in the modern era. And that's what we got here.
Gotcha.
So yes, it's a scrolling beat 'em up. There's some cool little nostalgia moments. There's cool little Easter eggs, I guess. Like you can punch an arcade machine and then go into the arcade at one point in it, which I thought was pretty cool. So what'd you think, Mom? Came out April 30th, 2020. So it was very end of April. But we played it. Yeah.
Okay. So I watched the first 9 minutes because I wanted to see what it was about.
Okay.
And that was with IGN, so I did write something down. And then I went and searched, when I was searching for the game, then I came across finding the retro levels 50 plus.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So I thought it meant for adults 50 and over.
Oh, God.
That's my mentality, right?
Yeah. Oops.
Right. But it has to do with arcades. Finding the arcades.
Yeah. Finding those arcades, you punch them and then you go into those levels. Yeah.
Yeah. But that was kind of cool. watching, where you find those retro arcades, and then I was like, dang, this is a very aggressive game.
Oh, it's a beat 'em up.
Yeah, that's the whole game is beating someone up.
Yep.
Yeah. Total, if you're into aggression and you got some aggressions going on, that would be the game for you.
Come on, kitty cat. Yeah.
You want to kick some ass, you want to kick somebody's ass, get this game. Because that's all you do throughout the game is kick somebody's ass. I liked how they would kill, and then they turn into a turkey.
The health pickup. There's chicken and whatnot on the ground you can pick up to restore your health.
Yeah.
I punched this trash can. Oh, look, a fully cooked turkey.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
It's kind of an old retro game kind of trope. It's like, ooh, I punched this random wall. Ah, chicken's there.
I like the girl with the snake zapper.
Yes. The first boss? I believe that's the very first boss. Yeah.
So I actually watched part 1 with Rayman Gaming.
Rayman Gaming. Okay, I'm going to look him up. See what he's doing here.
And again, there was no commentary. It was just playing.
Rain Man or Rayman?
Rayman Gaming. No, I can't even read my own writing.
Yeah.
Rajman, Rajman, Rajman.
Rajman.
Yeah.
Ah, okay, all right. 930,000 subscribers. He's got a few people that watch him.
Well, there you go.
Let's see here. He's got a lot of Mortal Kombat 11 stuff. Destroy All Humans. All right.
So I ended up with up to stage 3 with Cherry and the guitar.
Yes.
And that's what I was telling you about the guys with their hands in their pockets.
Right.
And it reminds me of Cassidy. Maybe that's how where he got his idea from.
I don't know about
These
that.
guys, yeah, right. Oh, they got it from him.
Yeah, maybe.
It's a like I said, it's a good game if you got some aggression going. This would be a great game for you.
I got a cat with a lot of aggression right now. He wants to play something bad. Oh yeah. He's not a happy guy right now.
Well, all I have to do is open a door and my cats are gone.
Well, this is all about the criminal mastermind Mr. X was finally defeated in Streets of Rage 3. Wood Oak City falls under the control of a new crime syndicate led by Mr. X's children, the Y twins. See what they did there?
Yeah.
We're planning on brainwashing the city by using hypnotic music, so it's kind of like a Batman villain type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Learning about this corruption, Blaze Fielding calls in some old favors to take the twins down. Joining Blaze are her old friends Axel Stone and Adam Hunter. Adam's daughter Cherry Hunter and Floyd Aria I don't know. A cybernetically enhanced apprentice of Dr. Zen.
Raja?
No, Iraia. Uriah? Uriah? I don't know.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's I really like the idea of the unique star move. Each person has a little special move. It's pretty cool. There's nothing really to complain about in this game at all. It is a modern day release of an old beat 'em up with much better mechanics, a great art style. I absolutely loved it. I played this originally through Xbox Games Pass. It's just a little $5 subscription service that a lot of games come out each month for it. So I played this one. And I loved it so much, I bought the limited games edition, or limited run games edition for my Nintendo Switch. And I'll just waiting for that to come in, and I can play more of this, because I definitely want to go through a lot more of the arcade retro modes and play all those different levels. There's a lot of replay value here. You can unlock more characters. There's a whole lot of things to do in it, and it's a very, very well made game. I can't speak highly enough of it. If you're a fan of this cat is absolutely insane. He's just back and forth. I think he's jumped on this mic table like 4 times just during this gaming section right now. Crazy. So I hope the audio is not messed up completely.
Well, why don't you just get something to distract him?
I've been trying, but he's distracted for all of maybe 5 seconds, and he goes, all right, I want to do the other thing now.
Yeah, I mean, between What the Golf and Rage 4, I mean, that's like night and day. You know, it's not apples to apples by any means.
No, 2 completely different games from each other.
2 completely different games.
But they're not AAA titles.
Right, and I didn't know what the Streets of Rage 4 was about. Mm-hmm. But the first thing that came to mind, I'm like, dang, this is really an aggressive game. They do a lot of, it's not like shoot 'em up, you know, it's beat 'em up.
Right. Bang. Yeah.
Yeah. Bam, 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 bam. Can you ever die?
Oh yeah. So you can.
They can beat you up.
Oh yeah. Players who are good at the game will not get hit. I died quite a lot,
which is why I enjoyed watching the person that I was watching, because he was able to just keep going. Yeah. You know, without dying.
Mean, I play the occasional beat 'em up every now and again for the Retro Gaming podcast, but I haven't delved this deep or played this long into a beat 'em up for quite some time.
Well, you need to go for the retro levels.
Oh, definitely. I definitely want to play more of that.
Plus arcades that are in there.
Yeah. So
because even at the very beginning, you could have gone to a different level if you found the arcade.
Yeah. And you can increase the difficulty level, and that will increase the enemy count and how it changes their attack patterns. It's pretty crazy. There's so much replay value to this.
Yeah, that's cool. Because, you know, a lot of your games, once you're through, like What the Golf, once you're done, do you really want to go back to it? It's like watching some movies, you know. Some movies you want to see over and over again, and then other movies you're like, yeah, once is enough for me.
Yeah, this is definitely one I will... it's such a simple pick-up and play title, too, and you can play co-op with your friends as well. You can get a second controller, so you and I could play it together.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll have to do that when the next time you come visit.
Well, I'm thinking about coming for the 4th of July. What do you think?
Sure, I guess.
I gotta get out of this place. I know it'd be interesting to know what the travels are going to be like coming up.
Yeah.
You know,
I hear you there. All right, so. What did you? What are you tiering? What are you ranking Streets of Rage for?
Well, I think I see this more of a guy game, but I'm if I had a lot of aggression, I'd probably go for it too. But I like the characters and stuff. They got some cool characters, you know, in it, like that the cherry hunter.
Sure, yeah.
You know, with the guitar and stuff. I would give it a A.
Me too. I was thinking the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm. I'd give it an A for sure, because there's a lot to do in this game. And I think you could have a lot of fun with it. You wouldn't be bored, that's for sure. It's not boring by any stretch. And it's a story. You know, it's a good story.
Yeah, it's fun and simple.
And even though I didn't know anything about it, by doing just my, little investigating and stuff, I got it. I get it. I'm watching.
We got June now here, and The Last of Us Part 2 is coming out. That's what we'll be doing, Mother.
Okay.
Is that game. And then July, I got 2 for you.
Okay.
I got a Mario game and then another one called Ghost of Tsushima, which is a Japanese samurai game.
Oh. Okay.
Be looking forward to those 3 from you.
Okay.
So thank you again.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. Thank you again for coming to review the video games with us from the mom's little perspective there.
Thanks for having me.
It's always fun having you on. You are more than welcome to come back for more. I think you have the approval of the audience now.
Excellent.
So yeah, that'll finish this episode. Hope everyone enjoyed. See you next month.
See ya.